We just got done trying Destinies Bound for Fate, which is the expansion that allows you to play Destinies, but 4 players! Let's talk about it.
What does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! We're back again today for another Thoughts from the Corner. And today I'm very excited to be with Lucy and Adam.
Hey.
And we're going to be talking about Destinies Bound by Fate from Lucky Duck Games. This actually makes it go from a 1 to 3 player game to a 4 player game, which will take about 150 to 180 minutes to play. And it's for ages 14 plus. And I'm not going to go too much into Destinies. If you want to know exactly how Destinies work, go check out my review for that. We're going to be commented specifically on the 2 versus 2 aspect of this game. So what you're going to get in this really nice fancy box insert that you will never use again is going to be an extra board, a bunch of extra components, but most importantly, some extra cards with Destiny. So what this does, in Destinies, you're going 1v1v1 normally, but this is going to make it so you go 2v2, and you're going to be a team essentially going around still trying to complete the same Destinies. Now, I have played through Destinies, I think now 7 or 8 times. This is your first 2 times playing Destinies tonight with the 2-player version. So I'm very curious to hear what just your opinions are of the game, because you haven't actually played it the regular way, but only this way. So who wants to start?
It was actually a pretty enjoyable experience because we kind of just dived into it, and then because you knew a little bit more, which helped us out a lot. But yeah, it was pretty simple. Just organize your character and just try to find your destinies. I kind of wish it told you straight in the beginning that whoever you're partnered with has the same destinies as you have. That would have made things a little bit easier.
That they were the exact same thing on the card.
Yeah.
Yes, and that I looked in the rules and I didn't specifically see it anywhere on there, and it says you can't communicate in any other way. So we were like, can we show each other our cards? Luckily, my son actually screwed it up and said, yeah, you guys have the same thing. But it is something I feel like you want to know in the beginning, because it really is just like the regular game. You're just trying to complete one of these 2 destinies, except you were kind of like a tag team.
Yeah.
So how was that talking with each other and trying to figuring out the plan?
It was. I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I also liked that it wasn't like you're secretly trying to tell people things.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of open. You know?
It is.
You're saying it to the entire table, and it was in the rules that you have to say everything to the entire table. So you could be cryptic, but you're not trying to sneak a
wink.
Oh, this way. You know.
And I see why, because it was some of the information that you convey can be very helpful to the other team.
Oh yeah, I pretty much knew what you guys were doing the first time. That's why I kept taking your stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of just.
I cannot make me edit.
I also thought that our first couple of rounds, I thought, oh man, this is gonna drag because my turn isn't for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I was invested in what Lucy was doing.
Yeah, because you're my partner.
And even when you guys were doing things, that was giving me information as well, because everything's read to everybody. Even though you guys were the ones that went there, it's we can go there now and do this part of the quest and get,
Because now, they found their part. They didn't find their part of the quest, but they found ours accidentally.
Yeah.
So let's go over there and try to hijack that real quick before they actually block us from doing what we need to do.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that there wasn't this hidden information part of the game.
Yeah.
Where you're there's a lot of these games where you're trying to figure something out that's we have to go there now because they went there and they acted like it was really exciting.
Yeah.
So there was none of that, and it made the game, I think, feel more
involved.
Yeah, more involved. Yeah, everybody seemed to be actively engaged all the time.
Because for example, there was he found a part of a quest over here, and I happen again to know that information. The person's probably in this location. It's I found that person. I can do something.
I'm going to comment on this from a slightly different angle. So what I'm hearing, though, is both of you enjoyed the 2v2 version of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Would you? Do you think you'd enjoy the 1v3 version of the game as well? Or the 1v1v1 version of the game? Because that's the original game. If we were just playing all of us against each other, do you think you'd still enjoy it just as much?
I will say that the second playthrough, a certain, team did sound really familiar to a certain other quest. I don't know, I'm trying to skip over spoilers a little bit, but, one group quest had a quest to hey, find
the objective
people.
was essentially the same.
Yeah,
that's a great point, and that is less of a nitpick here and just more of a nitpick of the game itself, because I played through the entire base game. Me and my son are into the second mission of the expansion, And I will say a lot of the missions are samey, which is one of the cons that I actually mentioned about this. Is I kind of like it when I feel like we're doing completely different things in this world a little bit better, and I hope in the future they do more of it.
I liked how we were opposing each other, even though we didn't know it at the time.
I feel like one thing that I really was surprised about, I really enjoyed this as a cooperative game. I work with Alan in both games, and it was fun, a back and forth. There was some pressure luck. So what this one does different is it actually gives you an additional option where you can summon someone to you if they're close enough, and then they get to roll the dice with you. So you can essentially
add your successes together.
Yeah, so you can just absolutely crush these, because the more powerful they are, generally the better the outcome is, but at the cost of that person losing their next turn. And so what happened with us, at one time, we gambled it all on one thing, and we failed miserably. Now, luckily
right there.
Lucy did not burn us. I thought for sure you were going to burn us, but it was counterproductive to your mission.
Yeah,
well, not counterproductive.
It would prevent me from not losing, but it wouldn't help me win. It's that kind of strategy. I like the kind of strategy of just like the whole there's a term for it, but there's like you can play to mess with your opponent, to stall them, but it will not make progress on your own thing. So it's either you play to not lose or you play to win.
Now, I would honestly counter that though, because if you had done that, that would have been a huge disadvantage to me and Alan. We would have been like, all right, we're back to square one. We have to figure out what to do. Also, you would have gained most likely experience and the item. So I can
It also felt like there were plenty of if your objective was to do 3 things, there were actually 5 of those things that you could do.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we lost that one, but there's plenty of other opportunities out there.
Yeah.
We just gotta find it.
Probably like that other who you failed trying to fight that kind of the little rats or whatever.
Yeah.
That's probably another thing you could have done and gotten your thing.
But overall, how much would you recommend the game itself, and in particular the 2v2 expansion?
My only concern is as soon as you start, because I think that a lot of that fantastic experience was because I don't know anything about this, and it was very much a roleplay thing.
Excellent.
But definitely by the second game, I was starting to feel like, oh, once you know what this kind of objective really means, you can start finding the little clues it gives you to go to it. Because for example, for that whole help people quest, as soon as you identify that's what your mission means, you know what you're looking for.
You kind of do. We went to various different locations because we were like, oh, I want to help this person. And it's like, oh, I don't want to help you now because you're not going to help me. So I definitely see what you're paying. And one thing that I thought you were going that you're not, but I do want to specifically mention is I have now gotten the chance to play the same mission more than once a couple times. And I definitely think that is one disadvantage, not specifically of this, but of the series as a whole, where you want to wait a couple months before you go back to it. Because there was a spot in the game where he's like, you should go here and do this. And I was like, no, I'm not going to, because I know what to do when I go there, and it's not fair. And that's just something that can be unavoidable in this game. It is a natural con of this game. But the fact that I've played this now 7-8 times in the last week, that's
How many
a lot.
missions are there total?
There is a grand total of 5. The standalone one we did with the wolf, and then the 4 that are connected, but they're not really connected.
They have enough cards that they could expand it, right?
Oh yeah, and there's 2 expansions. Oddly enough, one of the expansions we're playing through, the other expansion you can't actually play until Q3 of 2021. But overall, I do want to say I slapped a Bauer's Best Deal on the original Destinies, and I love Bound for Fate. If you hit 4 players, I think this is an expansion that I absolutely recommend to you. I was worried it was going to feel slapped on, half-assed, and just... I was worried, and I will reassure you that if you like Destiny's Bound for Fate, and you like the idea of this game, and once again, I want to stress, this is not a medium-weight game. This is a very lightweight, dice-chucking game. It's all about story.
It is a bit of a table eater, though.
It is. But Destiny's Bound by Fate, I think we're all giving this one a recommendation.
Yeah. Sure.
Definitely. If it looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to check this one out. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. So I'm trying to reach 9,000 subscribers, celebrate my 9-year anniversary of making YouTube content. And in the comments below, let me know, what's your destiny? Realistically, give me. Okay, here we go. In 5 years, what would you like your destiny to be? Realistically, you're not going to be a billionaire. We're not. Let's be frank.
It says you.
We're not criminals. It's just going to be hard to do.
Mainly just working for a different company, getting like an actual good career job. That's what I'm hoping for.
Gaining a career. What's yours?
I mean, hopefully 5 years from now, I'd like to have my
Retire.
shop up and be making some stuff out of wood and selling some stuff out of wood.
Nice.
Oh,
Etsy
great.
with the missus.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, it's projected that in 5 years, if I keep up my pace, I'm thinking I'm at 60,000, 50,000 subscribers. So I'd be happy with half that. If I'm at 30K, I'm good all day. But that is Destinies, Bound by Fate. Let me know. We already talked about that. Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for your time, you two.
See yas.